Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor here. Today we're looking at another release of the Unreal DirectX11 renderer. Now it's at version 1.3. So let's go through what's been changed. Ooh, vastly improved ray tracing algorithm for SSR. That's screen space reflections. Reflections also affect far distances from reflective surfaces. That's going to be cool. Turn on reflections for models like weapons and non-transparent water bodies. Okay. Added new SSR intensity to customize the reflection intensity. Fixed the bug in Deus Ex where SSR and ASSAO worked only during cutscenes. Fixed the bug when disabling tessellation decals like blood showed pixelated. Unbound process affinity from first core to arbitrary one. So I think that'll solve some issues that people were having with multiple cores. Don't think I experienced one, but that's good anyway. And fix the bug with screen brightness when watermark is being drawn. So if you've seen my other video, you'll know that the watermark that was being left did actually affect the brightness, and now it's not. So that's a good bug to have fixed. Let's get into the game. Well, actually, before we get into the game, let's go over the installation. So open up the file here. Within this folder, you've got common folder and Unreal 436 folder. They're the ones we're both interested in for Unreal Tournament. So you open up your Unreal Tournament folder, go to System, and you grab the common folder, open that up, drag across these three files over, overwriting whatever's in there thus far, like so, and you go back, and you go Unreal Tournament 436, and you've got D3D11 drv.dll, which is the main renderer, and a Tessellation CFG file, which we'll go into in just a second. Let's drag that over, replace again. Now, let's go into the Tessellation folder, or the file even. So in here is a list of models and how much tessellation should be applied to each of them. So you may notice in the video that some of the weapons and models look a bit bloated or odd, and that's because they've got quite a bit of tessellation applied to them. Now this essentially takes polygons and tessellates them to produce more polygons, to produce smoother surfaces in real time, to make things look less hexagonal and more rounded. Because Unreal Tournament is such an old game, the models weren't really made with tessellation in mind. So you may see some funny things like a sniper rifle looking a bit balloony, and some other things may look odd. So if you wonder why the models look weird, that's why. They can be adjusted within this tessellation config file. So that's very important to keep in mind as I take you through. And now you know why some of the models will look ballooned. Let's dive into the game. And so here we are in game. Let's check out the settings. Let's have a look under rendering, DirectX11 support. So I've got SSAO turned off at the moment because I was using the ray tracing in Reshade, but I'm not using that for this video, so I'll turn that back on. So according to the developer, 1x blending I think should be turned off to make things look better. From what they last told me, that's what I understood. I've got the support me text disabled at the moment. In fact, what we'll do is we'll re-enable that. Now it doesn't interfere with the brightness anymore. Tessellation only in CFG, so that should take in that config file we looked at earlier. And I think that has some pre-configs in it, so hopefully we shouldn't have such bloated models. But again, if there are any, it's because of the tessellation. So that's everything on and running. Alrighty, so let's go and check out Hyperblast, which is my go-to map for graphical updates. Alright, so as you can see there, everything looks super shiny and reflective. Really, really nice. I've turned the SSR intensity up to absolute maximum. So everything is super shiny and reflecting everything. That's right, yeah, I set the SSR intensity to 1. So by default it's not that intense, but I've cranked it up to the max because I wanted to see just how intense this can get, and it looks pretty damn good. Now if you don't like this setting, you can just turn it down, of course. But why would you want to when it looks this awesome? So as you can see there in the Enforcer already, everything being reflected, looking so good. Of course, you can see the health files being reflected there. So let's give myself every single gun. And let's see what they look like. So the impact hammer there, lovely and shiny. Looking absolutely awesome. You can see some of the stars flying by being reflected there on that left orange pressure can thing. Really, really cool. You buy a rifle. Super duper shiny. Looks really, really good. Just every light in the hallway. So much better than a cube map could ever do. And down we go. Just look at that. Look at that. Incredible. That's awesome. The green blob being reflected. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Onto the shock rifle. Just looks very, 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 very polished. Very, very nice. And again, if we get it right, you can see these stars flying by in the top of it. Absolutely amazing. You can even see other guns on the ground reflecting in it there. And the shock core there and the explosion all being reflected. Incredible. And that portal there being reflected in the gun, and on the walls, and on the floor, and on the ceiling. Pulse rifle. Oh, it's a bit of a bug there with the secondary fire. You can just see there's a line in the reflection there. You can even see the health packs being reflected in there as well, along with their animation. And the Ripper, so reflective there. Ooh, yes. Now if we could get full-on ray tracing in Unreal Tournament, you could have it so you could see behind you with the reflections. But unfortunately you can't do that because this is just screen space, but it's still awesome. But hopefully one day, hopefully Nvidia, they get on with it and put ray tracing in so we can have full reflections everywhere, behind you, everything. That could offer a tactical advantage as well. So you can even see the cases being reflected there as well. And look at that minigun. Look how metallic that looks. Finally, the minigun looks like metal. Looks so, so nice. It looks far better than the SSR that was being applied by Reshade. And it also doesn't hit the frame rate. Obviously, Reshade has its limitations because it's a post-process effect, whereas this is being done in-engine with the renderer. So it runs super smooth and looks absolutely amazing. Look at that. Damn, that looks good. Flat cannon as well. Just looks so shiny and nice. God damn. And over to the rocket launcher. Again, you can see the med packs being reflected there. See all the rockets being reflected and the explosions as well. So awesome. I love it. And the sniper rifle, which is probably the most reflective one there is. Look at that. Just that hallway going by in the reflection. What I've noticed is that there's slight, like, weird rippling in the reflection there, which I don't think is intentional, but what it makes it look like is that something has spilled out of these barrels, and it looks like there's liquid there, and it looks awesome. It's unintentional, but it's awesome. And I've summoned a Redeemer, so let's see what this looks like when picked up. Absolutely amazingly shiny is what it looks like. Just everything being reflected in that. It's like a mirror. Look at that. And of course, one of the other new features is the reflections that are now in the water. So you can see here, over to this bit here, you can now see these bits of mountain, and that gate over there is being reflected, giving the water a much more watery looking effect, which looks awesome. You can see the boat being reflected there. Oh wow, look at that. Now that's nice. Alright, so let's check out some Phobos. Ooh. Yep. That looks really good. Look at that. You can see now that the reflections don't actually glitch out when you get close to them, so that's a good fix. That's a really nice fix. And it just looks beautiful. Just really gives it a metallic look, especially on maps like this. And look at that, the planet being reflected there as it goes round. That's just awesome. God damn, that's beautiful. The stars and the planet going around in the reflection there. Oh yeah. So here we can get a really good reflection in the Redeemer of the skybox going by as it spins around. Oh wow. You see that galaxy reflecting in there? Oh yeah, look at that. And the planet going around. Oof. I know I keep saying it looks good, but it's because it does. It looks awesome. I can't stress enough either how much hard work must have gone into this from the developer. So yeah, thanks to them. I mean, they don't. I mean, they give this away for free, and you can donate to their PayPal, but to download it, it's free. So that's just so much work. It really has got to be appreciated. Oh man, just the way the lights all go through and reflect down the hallway. You can see that distant light there flashing away. So one of the problems I had when using Reshade was that everything became shiny. Like everything. Even dirt, floors and wood and stuff like that would become very much reflective as well, and it didn't look quite right. So I wonder if this has the ability to differentiate between metallic surfaces and non-metallic surfaces. Let's find a good map that will have something without a lot of reflections on it. Let's try Arcane Temple. Stone bits there are quite reflective, which is what you'd expect. Okay, so the wood still has some reflections on it, but it's not as strong as the reflections elsewhere, I don't think. So let's head outside to the grass. And as we can see, yeah, there's pretty much no reflections in the grass, which is awesome because obviously you wouldn't expect grass to be very reflective. So I think the engine is differentiating between reflective surfaces and non-reflective surfaces. Because look at that, the tree, no reflection on it, again as you expect. And that flame reflecting in there like that. Very nice. Let's see how this looks in action with all these effects together. Ooh, the frame rate took a bit of a hit there again. Let's get the frame rate back on. Whoop. It looks like it's around about 80 to 100 frames a second, which is pretty good. Oh man. Reflections just add so much to the world. It's awesome. I just loved how pretty much every month for the past year this game has just gotten better and better looking with the efforts of the community, and it is so appreciated. Everyone should go to the links below and leave comments to the creators of these mods for how good it looks. for the DirectX 11 renderer, the enhanced model textures and the enhanced environment textures. The amount of work gone into this is phenomenal. It's to the point where I can't really play Unreal Tournament without DirectX 11 now. It just doesn't feel right without it. Oh, I love it when the giblets get reflected. Oh. Gonna need a weapon. Here we go. I'm just looking at a bit of deck 16 and I'm starting to see there's a few oddities with the reflections. As you can see, just along there, the reflection of the edge of the water along there, just out there, seems to wobble a bit. I'm not sure what's causing that. I'm sure that can be remedied. Just pointing that out, so hopefully the dev can identify that. There's a couple other odd things as well. Yeah, I'm sure that can be ironed out pretty easily. But that overall, that does look really, really nice. Oh wow, so my game just crashed out on me while I was looking for a new map. And what we've got is general protection fault, CTD. I'm going to leave that in the video just in case that's useful to the developer of the renderer. And okay, so here we are on DMOS, and what I've done is frozen all of the bots so we can see how they're reflected as well as if they have any reflections on them. And looking closely, looks like they are a bit reflective, but not excessively so. So they don't look overly shiny, which is good. And you can see the shell there, shell casing being reflected there. But that does get warped a little bit. Oh, and the SSR giblets, look at that. And again, it's unintentional, but the sort of little effect there kind of gives the impression of actual sort of a wet surface. So that blood looks even more bloody. And here we are on some high speed. Now this is where the reflections, having that movement on the left and the right, makes things feel much more frenetic and awesome. As you go down here, down here. Oh yes, the lighting and the reflections as you go down. The reflection of the whole train there in the floor. The stars as well along there. As the skybox is getting reflected. So damn good. And just in the barrels of the minigun you can see the skybox flying by. Let's see what we can finish the video on. Frostbite. Let's have a look around that. So whenever you load a map, there appears to be a slight drop in the FPS. I think that could be just because it's loading. It's worth noting anyway. Look how nice that snow looks. Now that's a nice map. And again, really enhanced by all the additions. Oh, it actually feels like you're on actual like icy snow. The enhanced lighting, the ambient occlusion, the reflections all add up in that snow to make it look more like snow. So that is the DirectX 11 renderer version 1.3. You can go into the description and get the link for that, as well as links to the enhanced textures for this game, and a whole bunch of other cool things that you can look into. I think next week what I'll try and do is get a video out with reshade on top of this. So I've been trying to tweak that a bit lately. And see if I can get even more ultimate graphics out of this game. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And keep an eye out for more videos as they come. I'll also try and get a video out on Unreal Gold with the 1.3 renderer, because I bet that will look even more amazing as well. I really want to try and a lot more maps with this, but this video will just go on forever. So I'll leave you with a bit of gameplay, and I'll see you in the next one.